Hi, this is Rachel at Tarot Dreams, and I believe that there are signs and synchronicities in our daily lives that are meant to provide us with a deeper understanding on our spiritual path and guide us in this experience. I'd like to share some of my insight and messages that I've received through intuition, dreams, foresight, and various channeled energies. I want to thank you so much for visiting my platform, and I hope this message finds you well. Make sure to hit the like and the subscribe bell for future notifications if you're not already subscribed. And I thank you so much for visiting my platform. Hi, as I begin to unfold this week's messages, I just want to take a moment and actually begin this week's messages with 5 affirmations. I can choose to be happy now with what I have. I allow abundance to flow through my life. I welcome positive experiences into my life. I trust my intuition to guide me. I choose to be grateful for my life every day. I wanted to start off with these 5 affirmations because, the energies around us can be a little chaotic at times, and sometimes we're not trusting what we're seeing and what we're hearing. I trust my intuition to guide me is a really solid affirmation. I choose to be grateful for my life every day. When things tend to be tense and depressing or gloomy, I welcome positive experiences into my life. When things seem to be tight and restrictive, I allow abundance to flow through my life. And when you're just feeling down and sad and depressed, I can choose to be happy now with what I have. I hope these 5 affirmations help you to counteract some of the energies that you may come in contact with. So I wanted to begin this week's messages with that. And from that, let's go ahead and dive in. Now, I have several things that I will be discussing this week. There was some things that I seen, some things are my perception, and I did receive some validations. Did I resonate with everything? Not all of it, but I will say what I did, or my perspective might be a little bit varying. So this week I want to start off because I was getting really heavy. I'm not sure if it was last week's message or the week before that, but I have been getting connection. And I do feel that connection is very important right now. The connection with yourself, your understanding of things, with humanity, the people that are around you in your communities. People are changing. Things are changing relatively quickly. Your circumstances can change, your interpretation can change, and right now we're in an energy where a lot of people are stepping back and stepping away from a lot of the energies, but connection is still important. And connection is the action of linking one thing with another, or a relationship in which a person, thing, or ideal is linked or associated with something else. Now, that led me into, I've been seeing, among other things this week, Pegasus. Now, Pegasus is actually earth and sky together. It's a connection. And it also represents freedom, sovereignty. Sovereignty is very important in these days and has been since 2020. Okay? Sovereignty is very important. I've also been picking up, along with Pegasus, unicorns. Unicorns represent mysticism, magic, health, purity. There's also a certain resonance in writings about unicorns, and where they exist, where you find them, you can find hope and joy. So they carry a meaning of harmonious sovereignty. They resonate sovereignty, health, joy, purity, magic, and mysticism. Now, resonance is the ability to evoke or suggest images, memories, emotions. It's also a quality in sound, being deep, full, and reverberating. It's also an occurrence of a vibrating object causing another object to vibrate a higher amplitude. So sometimes you hear about the Schumann resonance and what the Earth's heartbeat is. And I bring that up because I received a channeled message that I had to try to decipher my handwriting. It was in complete dark, pen to paper, and not really my handwriting. So this is what I was able to decipher. And it was from the Druids. Shadow embracing what is known within you, what you feel is ancient, light and dark energy as some would perceive, earth resonation, the beginning, the in-between, and the end, the cyclic nature of earth's resonance and healing, the planet and within yourself, the balance of self and shadow. We say dance, touch the heavens, vibrate in love and healing. This will kiss and heal the earth resonant, that which rightfully belongs to you in this moment, this in-between. There are things seen and heard, and that what is not you, you must feel your way around this energy. We have so much to share as you come into your own resonance. Peace be with you, love and light, the Druids. That same morning, I received a second message, and it was from the archangels of a white light, and they stated, your creation into this physical existence in the womb, the first breath was the manifestation combining the spiritual and the physical, the connection. Life in the womb is growth in the awareness of becoming self with a capital S in another perspective, another fractal of the whole. Self, capital S, discovery in itself is an adventure, is it not? Peace be with you. Transition and change, growth into awareness, perceptions, and expansion. Now, I wrote it down and I started seeing things that in my timeline of things that I had been thinking about. And I'll just go over brief things. I was retouching on memories, and I was resonating with some things that my mother used to talk to me about prior to the internet. In fact, she was you could ask her anything, and she was the equivalent of a human Google. She just had an inordinate amount of wisdom, and sometimes we would try to trip her up, but we really couldn't do that. And I remember that one time she was talking to me about the Georgia Guidestones. And the way she talked and her knowledge, I thought the Georgia Guidestones had been around forever. Well, I was shocked later on to find out that they were actually thrown up sometime in the 80s. And I had actually the as much knowledge that she imparted on me about them, I really had thought that they had been around for a long time. And the reason why I bring this up is that she had spoke to me of a lot of things that is actually going on now in this world. And I just want to say that, I saw something that I sort of resonated with. Let's just put it this way. I do believe that we are in a reset. We are going into a greater awareness. I remember that my mother used to talk about the moon and how that they saw things there that they weren't allowed to talk about. And I'd never heard that before. And she said something about moon rocks and things of that nature and things that were brought back. And I know that there's a lot of speculation if we were ever on the moon. And I had also remembered, because I've been thinking a lot about Elon Musk and us becoming really multiverse and, one day we're really going to need to leave this planet. And, there's so much to touch on here. In any event, let me move on. So I had been thinking about a story that I had read about a little boy who had a past life incarnation or a remembrance of his life on Mars. And I've spoke about this before because it's really actually never left me. The little boy did disappear out of public eye, but he was really advanced, and he talked a lot about an infection and about how the life on Mars, that they went underground and that they ended up dying. Some of them were able to leave, but they could not survive underground, and the infection and the catalysm and everything that happened on the surface was just too much. So when he incarnated, he wanted to get back to Mars. He was really wanting to do space travel. And there are a lot of children like that actually during that time frame. Now, I bring this up because my mother used to speak about that as well. And she used to speak about the moon. Well, I was watching it. I believe it was Next Level Soul, and I will put it down in the comments. And it was an interview with Greg Braden. And it was actually something I had just been thinking about, the Dead Sea Scrolls. And so I was surprised to actually see it pop up. And that's usually how it happens with me. I didn't have the knowing like my mom did. Usually things will come to me if I start thinking about it. The information will come to me, and then sure enough, it'll be something that I either resonate with or it's wisdom that I am called to share with others on a need-to-know basis or, what have you. But at any rate, it was called the War Scroll. And it talked about, I'm going to really summarize this. I will put the link below. He digressed a lot, which a lot of people do when they share a lot of information. But the gist of it was sons of light and sons of darkness. There would be 7 wars, and 3 would be won by the sons of darkness, and 3 would be won by the sons of light, with the 7th one being won by the sons of light, but only by divine intervention. It would be through the divine. Now, I believe he speculated that he thought that we might be in the 7th. I didn't really resonate with that as much, and that respect about us being in the 7th war right now. I do not believe that we are in the 7th war. I do not believe that. Now, I do believe that the events that took place at the end of 2019 and into 2020 and what was introduced is one of those wars that was introduced by the Sons of Darkness. Sovereignty from that point has been very, very important. And there was manipulation and things, and he gets into a lot of different things that really you could apply it to this. But sovereignty is very important. Not being genetically modified is very important. The continuation of once the knowledge, the awareness, if you continued, then you were giving up your sovereignty. It wasn't introduced with a full disclosure, I'm going to say. But if you kept on doing it as you know, as it went on, you were basically altering your DNA, altering your biology, and you were no longer sovereign. You are compromised. Now, that, of course, you can throw down what you want in your perspective. Do I mean that, you know, in a proverbial hell you would burn? No, I do not. I do believe that anybody that continued to take it, their life path is obviously different. They just may not be able to connect. It may cut off the ability to connect with the divine or connect within yourself. Now, some people will say, that's not true. That's not necessarily true. I still pray. I still do this. You know, I still believe. Yes, but is your connection sovereign? Is it free from attachment? So that's a big debate there. So what would it mean? Did the Sons of Darkness prevail in that respect? I don't think so. I think they thought they were going to. But when you start crunching the numbers, they actually started to lose as people started to reject it. So I believe that we're still ongoing with that in this present moment. I do not believe that that particular one has been won or lost at this point. I watched an interview with Dr. Naomi Wolf, who was a proponent in the beginning. She was very hardcore, really just Democrat. And I'm not saying that choice was one way or the other, but I'm saying she was, let's put it this way, she was really invested in the media and was leaning in that particular instance until she started reviewing and seeing what actually was going on, and then she was horrified. Okay, so she automatically shifted along with a lot of other doctors who, some of them lost their license. Some of them were threatened. Well, one of them actually was jailed. So there is a lot of things that has not been really publicized a lot because certain things are compromised. However, I was watching the interview, and what she said that she believes that we are already on the other side of a great destruction. I agree with that. She believes, approximately 30 to 40% are already gone. Now, she went to further explain that in the sense of not only deaths, but mentally. And she said, even personality-wise, that some of these people will not regain the personality or the shift that they experienced in 2019 and 2020. Now, I agree with that. I've seen a large shift in personalities. I've seen a large shift in suicides. I've seen a large shift in sudden and unexplained things, you know? So with that being said, it's only, I don't want to make light of the numbers, but I believe when we get into the seventh war, there will be like 200 million soldiers. There will be 200 million. It will be a complete absence of God, okay? And that's why there's going to be a divine intervention. And that's why I do not resonate with that one part of it. I did resonate, as I have been seeing, that we are definitely in one of those. What number? I don't know. I would have to go back and see what I feel on some particular historical events. You know, World War II more than likely was one of them. Okay? But I would have to go back. You know, was the fall of Rome, Western and, you know, Eastern, what was that one of them? I don't know. I would have to go back and look. But right now, what I am wholeheartedly agreeing on is that we are in the middle of one of those spiritual wars, the sons of light and the sons of darkness. And I don't believe it's been determined as yet. And I agree with Dr. Wolf on the fact that, you know, right now we're at 30 to 40%. And that's not going to be recovered. And I agree with that. So we're in and we're on the precipice of change. And the way to counter this is to find your divinity and to go in and to find that unicorn, that hope, that joy, the mysticism, the magic, your divinity, your inner divinity, your connection with God, your connection with Source. I believe that's why a lot more channels that you see that are really prevalent out there. One of them would be Sheila Garrett. She is one of my favorites. And there are a few others out there that, you know, state that, you know, we chose to come back here. I believe it's Bashar, that we chose to come back here and that we were lucky to have a body. Well, what does that mean? Well, during this time, we also have, you know, where population has been decreasing over time because we have become a society of infertility. A lot of people don't realize that because a lot of things have been taken out of the mainstream. So bodies are harder to find. And, you know, now we're at 30 to 40%, and the infertility rate is going to increase significantly. So how long do these wars last? I don't know, but I know that we're in one, and I believe it's ongoing. Do I believe it's the seventh and final one? No, I do not. Does that mean that I should treat this any different? No, it does not. So I have been seeing, you know, you need to use your discernment. I believe I had said something, it could have been a couple messages ago about the Vatican. Well, it turns out that I believe I found this particular interview because when he was talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls, he had said that the Vatican, they were actually discovered in the 40s. And I really thought they were more, you know, that they had found them a lot longer than that. And he had actually said that it actually pushed the timeline back. And I think they were 1,000 years older than the canon Bible, which, you know, we have today, and things obviously weren't edited. However, he said the Vatican, along with other religious institutions, did not want them revealed. So it's a good interview. Do I resonate with all of it? No, I do not. But I resonated and I appreciated the information, just like I appreciated the information from Dr. Wolf, because, I do believe that when it gets into the seventh, that's when it's going to be, I believe it was 2/3 of the world population was taken, but they actually took more than 2/3. And there was divine intervention, but not immediately. And that's when I believe that the 200 million soldiers, sometimes I think that a lot of times, you hear the things about, the locusts and things like that. I really believe that some of these master manipulators, because I believe a lot of this is psychological, and that's why I believe you need to tap in to your divine inner knowing, and that's why I gave those 5 affirmations. Connection is important. Not only connection with your community and people around you, like-minded, exchanging wisdom, sharing knowledge, but with the divine. Because right now we are in a huge psyop. It's actually like a 2 or 3 part thing going on right now. But it hasn't been won or lost yet. Now, I don't believe this is going to take 2/3 out, more than 2/3. That's pretty much why I'm not at we're in the 7th turn. Now, if certain things happen and the darkness is elected, then yeah. But I happen to believe this will take place after there's a world stage, a world panel. It's pretty much inevitable that we'll go to something like that, but I just don't see it right now. In any event, really would love your thoughts on it. I don't really want to go way too deep, because I really could. I really could really exchange my perspectives and my thoughts here. But I know that, there are things that, like the 7 trumpets, like the asteroids and things of that, there are things that have yet to take place. So I do not believe that we are really in that 7th. Do I believe it's a spiritual war? I can't reiterate enough that I do believe it is. And remember that there are 3 the darkness wins, and there are 3 that the light wins. The 7th one, the final one, is when there is divine intervention. And I mean, there was even some discussion about we were once an enslaved race, and our DNA was tampered with. I firmly believe that we were, some of us are star seeds. Some of us are you can say it now. There are children that are on this planet right now that are offspring of hybrids. I just believe that we are more universally connected than what we were or what we had believed in the past, which I can get into long, drawn out things of what I believe about seeding and whatnot. But in any event, I want to go ahead and set this aside, because we are in a reset, and we're coming out, and we will be seeing the destruction from it. And I believe that destruction will be playing out from now and until we expire. And it will be the changes that we see. And when I say we expire, I meant my expiration date. I believe that we will be seeing these changes in how we interact. I believe that, with the Druids coming to me, there is a certain harmony with the earth that we will be being driven back to. And the connection is going to change. That's what I really fully feel, is that the connection is so important. And I do believe it will be changing. So I'm going to go ahead, because I could keep going here, but I do want to bring up that the first week of November obviously is very important, but I was also seeing something with holly, the berries and holly and crow's feet, which as a child, we used to get that and adorn our house with around Christmas. So I do believe that there could be events that take place between November and May, go into around the Christmas time. I did see Santa kind of looking crazy, but I haven't got any more elaboration on that. And if I do, I will definitely get into that. I have been picking up a lot with the collective consciousness and the portals. I really want you to listen to the Greg Braden interview, because he really taps in to how that information is ascertained, because it's already happened. And I totally resonated with that part. I totally resonated with that, and it actually explained a lot of what I have been feeling. And there's just so much to discuss. Any rate, you can drop your thoughts down below if there's something you want to discuss. And if this was so totally not your scene and you just want your tarot readings, you can book an appointment with me. Or if you want a collective tarot read, drop your sign below and put if it's love or money or a general. And if it's something you want to talk about, versus, time portals or the sons of darkness and the sons of light and Excalibur, I'm telling you, I've been seeing it all over the place. I know we're in a spiritual war right now, and we are coming out of on the other side of a great destruction. And I totally vibrated with what Naomi Wolf was stating. I totally did. So right now we need to get into and counteract it. And this does sound insane. And if you remember one of my other previous messages, what was I saying? Lucidity. There is clarity in between. And I do believe that's, we're in a major psyop right now. And perceptions will be expanded. We're in transition, we're in change, and I just really firmly believe that this psyop is like threefold. It's three-pronged. That's what I keep getting. It's three-pronged. So you've got the mental, you've got the biological, and then there will be the physical. And unfortunately, if one of them, the darkness gets in, I can see it. But it's a three-prong, and hopefully they won't get their third prong. Although they have generated all over in other parts. And there's a lot of mental things going on right now that you shouldn't really fall for. So do those 5 affirmations. Get in there. Start expanding your connection with divinity, with your own spiritual connection, with your connection with your higher self. You want to get in there and you want to expand upon that. Wisdom, knowledge, data. Knowledge is data, and wisdom and inner knowing. You want to really get in there. Any event, drop what your thoughts are below if you want. If you've made it this far, God bless you. Thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe for future notifications. If there's something you want to discuss or expand upon, or your thoughts or views, I would love to have a conversation with you. Thank you so very much, and I will catch you in next week's messages unless I get something that is a definite 411. Thank you so much.